All right, Sid's about to introduce you guys to Nazareth Hospital.
Or as Scott likes to call me, Ghostopedia.
Ghostopedia is a good word for
what
you.
I found out about Nazareth is that before it was a hospital, actually, there used to be a bordello.
Oh.
Yeah. And then it was owned by the Coca-Cola Water Company, and then it went to the Holy Sisters of Nazareth. Now, the basement was actually where they kept to people that had tuberculosis, polio, and the mentally disabled people down there. And the second floor, well, basically the basement was the first floor. Second is just your, your administrative and all that stuff. Third floor was your, I actually took a screenshot of it to help me out there. I believe the third floor was another patient area.
Now, is this a location that we can possibly go into sometime, or?
Well, you have to pay to go in there.
Right.
You get a tour, and there's only one way to enter, and that is through the basement.
Whew.
And my mom and I have actually, my mom,
she's laughing.
They're right here, who's probably laughing her butt off.
She is.
Love you too, Mom.
She is.
They actually made the basement into a haunted house attraction.
See, okay, so I've been to a location where they did turn it into a haunted house, fun house, and the spirits there hated it. They hated it.
And actually, there's a room down there in the basement that's full of dolls.
Oh,
And one of them actually does move.
oh, that's awful.
That is very awful indeed.
Who wants to do a lockdown?
Not me.
Scott says too.
I want to be in the doll room.
I want to be in the doll room.
Well, it looks like we'll be taking turns.
Okay.
What, hour each? Yeah? Oh, she was a little hesitant on that.
Well, just a little bit.
Sounds like we got a challenge. Oh, by the way, there's a baker. Kind of hard to see. There's a motorcycle in the way, and it's all cloudy and whatever. Let's see. There it is. Look at that. There she stands. Can't wait for that place to open. Anyways, back to the hospital.
Well, the third, fourth, and fifth are your usual stuff you would have. Your emergency rooms, your neonatal stuff, your ICUs. Sixth and the seventh floor, which is way up top, was actually the nuns' room area and the priest's room. But here's this: they actually installed an elevator in the 1920s inside.
That's
So
fancy.
they moved the priest into a house that is right behind the crematorium / incinerator.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, Sid, okay, so we've investigated Yorktown Hospital. Is there a reason why the nun and pastor's rooms are upstairs and not, like, either in the basement or the main floor? Is there a reason?
That is actually a really good question. I guess it would probably be making them more closer to God, possibly, because
Okay.
nuns and priests and probably all that holy stuff would probably be up top closer. And actually, some of the nuns at the Nazareth were actually registered nurses.
Yeah, I think Yorktown was like that too. I think they were actually registered nurses as well as nuns, because you can't really practice nursing without having some sort of knowledge, I guess. There's a hospital from where I'm from in South Dakota that is still a current working nun-based hospital. They don't as much anymore walk around in their clergy outfits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they are still active practicing. So that's pretty cool.
There's actually a ghost of a blue nun, is what she's called, that actually haunts the Nazareth.
Nice.
And what I found out also is that, well, it is rumored, not really confirmed yet, that sometimes some of the patients at the Nazareth that we're about to get to were not really dead when they were put in the incinerator.
Oh.
And another thing is, and this is from a different source of investigators, not saying names though. Not saying the name of this investigation, but you probably know which one I'm talking about. Rumor is that they mixed the cremations of people, like they just shoved the bodies into the
Well, I mean,
crematorium.
that's still done today, to be
Oh, no.
honest. It's very rare to not have ashes from somebody else in your family member's ashes.
It is said that there are still ashes inside the crematorium of
Ugh.
human remains.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
There's poor souls.
beyond poor souls. And also, it said that the people who were very poor or extremely diseased. Now you gotta think, what did they do to the bodies before the crematorium was built?
I mean, I would hope
Consider it.
they'd stash them in a morgue somewhere.
Or were they buried? And if so, it could be possible the reason why Nazareth is so haunted is because of how poorly those people were had their bodies dealt with. They know
Yeah.
that their bodies still there on the grounds. Who knows?
Who knows? That would be really cool if they took one of those radar
Oh,
things
yeah,
and did that.
GPR.
Here is
Nazareth.
Nazareth. Look at that. Look at it all in its glory. A couple broken windows here and there.